वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astottara Sat Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charana Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistuki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8, Dhruva Maharaj leaves home, text number 25, word for word. Naradas Tat Upakarnya Gyatva Tasya Chikirshitam Spistva Mudhani Aga Gehena Panina Praha Vishmita Naradastat Upakarnya Gyatva Tasya Chikirshitam Spistva Mudani Agagenena Panina Praha Vishmita Naradastat Upakarnya Gyatva Tasya Chikirshitam Spistva Mudani Agagenena Panina Praha Vishmita Naradastat Upakarnya Gyatva Tasya Chikirshitam Spistva Mudani Agagenena Panina Praha Vishmita. Narada, the great sage Narada, taught that Upakarnya, overhearing, Gyatva, and knowing, Tasya, his, Dhruva Maharaj, Chikisitam, activities, Spistva, by touching, Mudani, on the head, Aga Genena, which can drive away all sinful activities. Panina, by the hand, Praha, said, Vishmita, being surprised. Translation. The great sage Narada overheard this news, and understanding all the activities of Dhruva Maharaj, he was struck with wonder. He approached Dhruva, and touching the boy's head with his virtuous hand, he spoke as follows. Please repeat. The great sage Narada overheard this news, and understanding all the activities of Dhruva Maharaj, he was struck with wonder. He approached Dhruva, and touching the boy's head with his all virtuous hand, he spoke as follows. Purport. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When Dhruva Maharaj was talking to his mother Suniti of all the incidents that had taken place in the palace, Narada was not present. Thus, the question may be raised how Narada overheard all these topics. The answer is that Narada is Trikala Gya. He is so powerful that he can understand past, future and present, the past, future and present of everyone's heart, just like the Super Soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, after understanding the strong determination of Dhruva Maharaj, Narad came to help him. It may be explained in this way. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is present in everyone's heart, and as soon as he understands that a living entity is serious about entering devotional service, he sends his representative. In this way, Narada was sent to Dhruva Maharaj. This is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Guru Krishna Prasada Phaya Bhakti Lata Bij. By the grace of the spiritual master in Krishna, one can enter into devotional service. Because of Dhruva Maharaj's determination, Krishna, the Super Soul, immediately sent his representative, Narada, to initiate him. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurul Militam Yena Tasme Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sahagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tham Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Satadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatha Dashatharine Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Bhavinebhyo Vaishnavveyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Translation. The great sage Narad overheard this news, and understanding the activities of Dhruva Maharaj, he was struck with wonder. He approached Dhruva by touching the boy's head with his all-virtuous hand. He spoke as follows. This we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is kindly given to us by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In 1965, Srila Prabhupada, at the age of 70, he came to the West and to New York, and he single-handedly started the Hare Krishna movement. And thereafter, within the next 11 or 12 years, he traveled 14 times around the world. And wherever he went, he would get up at midnight, at 1 o'clock, or sometimes from 11 at night onwards, and he would translate the Srimad Bhagavatam. So he was instructed by his guru in 1922 to spread Krishna consciousness to the English-speaking world. So finally, as Prabhupada said, at the fag end of my life, at the age of 70, he came to America. And so this is his presentation, which is the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is considered the essence of all the Vedic books of knowledge. And we are now reading from the 4th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which explains the pastime of a little boy called Dhruva. Dhruva was 5 years old, and under some situation or circumstances, he became determined to leave the kingdom, the king, the palace that he was living in, and he was going to the forest to meditate on Krishna or Lord Vishnu. So this is now we're hearing that Dhruva Maharaj, a 5-year-old boy, is now leaving the palace, the kingdom, and he's going to the forest to meditate on God or Lord Vishnu. So you can understand what an exalted person Dhruva Maharaj is at the age of 5. And he was encouraged or advised that you should simply take shelter of the Supreme Lord. So this was his determination, a 5-year-old boy, renouncing the kingdom of his father and going to meditate on Lord Vishnu in the forest. And then we hear in this verse of a great sage, Narad Muni. Although he was not present at the kingdom during the situation with the young boy, Dhruva, and it's explained here, Prabhupada explained, when Dhruva Maharaj was talking to his mother Suniti of all the incidents that had taken place in the palace, Narad was not present. Thus the question may be raised how Narad overheard these topics. The answer is, Narad is Trikalagya. He is so powerful that he can understand past, present, and future of everyone's heart. This is a specific quality of a very advanced devotee of the Lord. So now we're hearing of Narad Muni. And Narad Muni, in his previous life, he was the son of a maidservant. And there's a special time of the year called Chatur Mas, where during the 4 months of the rainy season in India, the saintly persons, they reside in one place, they don't travel. So during this time, his mother had the opportunity of serving the sadhus or the saintly persons. And this boy in his previous life, Narad Muni, he was helping his mother. So he was engaging in menial service to these devotees or saintly persons. And they bestowed their mercy upon him by allowing him to take the remnants of their food, of their prasadam. So in his next life, this little boy, due to the association of the saintly persons, he was given this exalted position of Narad Muni, a great devotee of the Lord, who had this power or capability of remembering past, present and future. Therefore, although Narad was not present in the palace, he could understand the situations that took place with Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj is now leaving the palace and he's going to the forest. So this is up to the point where we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So and here we read, Prabhupada explains the qualities of Narad Muni. And he explains that also the super soul, or Lord Krishna within the heart, the Parama Atma, he also has this quality of remembering past, present and future. Therefore, after understanding the strong determination of Dhruva Maharaj, Narad came to help him. It may be explained in this way: the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present in everyone's heart. And as soon as he understands that a living entity is serious about entering devotional service, he sends his representative. In this way, Narad was sent to Dhruva Maharaj. We all have this experience, especially when we come into Krishna consciousness. We may have some spiritual inquiry. We want to learn more about God. And as soon as Krishna, what we're reading is, as soon as he sees this, he sends someone to help us. He sends the Harinam team. We go out chanting on the street so everyone can hear the name of Krishna. Or he'll send someone to knock on our door and present a book on Krishna consciousness. Or somehow you may receive some prasadam through our Food for Life, or you may come to a festival. So this is how Krishna is sending his mercy, his representatives. And ultimately, especially in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is explained, and he quotes a verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Guru Krishna Prasada Phaya Bhakti Lata Bij. By the grace of the spiritual master in Krishna, one can enter into devotional service. Because of Dhruva Maharaj's determination, Krishna, the super soul, immediately sent his representative, Narada Muni. So this is how we come to devotional service, by the mercy of the representative of Lord Krishna. So this is a nice verse that Prabhupada quotes from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we'll read that. And it's from Chaitanya Charitamrita. The reference, Madhya Leela, chapter 19, verse 151. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Phai Bhakti Lata Bij. Translation: according to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary systems, and some are going down into the lower planetary systems. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master. By the grace of Krishna, by the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the kripa of devotional service. Prabhupada writes in this purport, Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, and if one desires something, Krishna fulfills one's desire. If the living entity by chance or fortune comes in contact with the Krishna consciousness movement and wishes to associate with that movement, Krishna, who is situated in everyone's heart, gives him the chance to meet a bona fide spiritual master. This is called Guru Krishna Prasada. Krishna is prepared to bestow his mercy upon all living entities, and as soon as the living entity desires the Lord's mercy, the Lord immediately gives him an opportunity to meet a bona fide spiritual master. Such a fortunate person is fortified both by Krishna and the spiritual master. He is helped from within by Krishna and from without by the spiritual master. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Gaur Hari ki jai, Tulsi Maharani ki jai, Guru Parampara ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He is helped from within by Krishna and from without by the spiritual master. Both are prepared to help the sincere living entity become free from material bondage. So this is the shelter that we have, both from the Lord himself and from the bona fide spiritual master, because they will help us. Prabhupada says both Krishna and the spiritual master are prepared to help the sincere living entities become free from material bondage. Prabhupada continues, following in the footsteps of Narad Muni, this Krishna consciousness movement is rendering service to humanity by giving everyone a chance to come in contact with Krishna. If one is fortunate, he becomes intimately related with this movement. Then by the grace of Krishna, one's lives become successful. Everyone has dormant Krishna bhakti, love for Krishna, and in the association of good devotees, that love is revealed. Prabhupada quotes another verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. As it is stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 22:107, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunaya Shravanadi Sudachite Karaya Udhaya. Dormant devotional service to Krishna is within everyone. Simply by one's associating with devotees, hearing the good instruction and chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, dormant love for Krishna is awakened. In this way, one acquires the seed of devotional service. Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Beach. So, one acquires the seed of devotional service. The seed of devotional service is devotional service, practical devotional service. It's not that you're going to receive a little seed and plant it somewhere. Spiritual life means practical activity. That is the seed. And how we can, that seed, in the next text 152 of Madhya Lila, it is said, when a person receives the seed of devotional service, he should take care of it by becoming a gardener and sowing the seed in his heart. If he waters the seed gradually by the process of Shravana, Kirtana, that is hearing and chanting, the seed will begin to sprout. Prabhupada writes, and here is giving some specific instruction on devotional service. To live with devotees or live in a temple means to associate with Shravana Kirtana process. Sometimes neophyte devotees think that they can continue the Shravana Kirtana process without worshipping the deity. But the execution of such Shravana Kirtana is meant for highly developed devotees like Haridas Thakur, who engaged in the Shravana Kirtana process without worshipping the deity. However, one should not falsely imitate Haridas Thakur and abandon deity worship. just to be engaged in Shravana Kirtana. It is not possible for neophyte devotees. So here Prabhupada is stressing the importance of deity worship. So Prabhupada in his teachings and especially his presentation of Krishna consciousness, he mentioned that of the 64 main items of devotional service, 5 are the most important. And deity worship is one of them. Archanam. And along with hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, associating with devotees and living in a holy place, these are the 5. But specifically here, what we're reading is how we are neophyte devotees. We are new, we are coming in, and we should not neglect deity worship. And Prabhupada mentions that this bhakti, that devotional service that we are following runs on 2 parallel lines. One is a Bhagavat Vidhi, which is the 9 processes of bhakti, and starting with Shravanam and Kirtanam. And the other is Pancharatrika Vidhi, or temple worship, which is deity worship. It is mentioned here, if one track is missing, bhakti cannot proceed for the neophyte. Shravanam, Kirtanam, or hearing and chanting, are Bhagavad Vidhi, and Archanam, or deity worship, is Pancharatriki Vidhi. So we understand, like when Prabhupada went to America, he simply gave the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He went out in Thompson Square Park in New York, and he began to chant, and all he did was actually hand out or give the Hare Krishna mantra. He gave prasadam, Krishna's mercy, and he gave himself. But as the Krishna consciousness movement grew, he gradually introduced deity worship. So, in order to engage in deity worship, or to have understanding of deity worship and be attracted to perform devotional service along with our chanting and hearing devotional service to the deity, we should develop faith in the deity, that the deity is Krishna himself. There's one pastime told by a devotee from the early days in 26 2nd Avenue in New York City, that somehow there was a devotee brought a deity of Krishna, and they asked, could they leave this deity in the storefront? And Prabhupada said no. And Prabhupada asked the devotee to take the deity up to his room. And the devotees asked why, but this is Krishna. And Prabhupada said no, that immediately you will not understand how Krishna appears in the form of the deity. And because of your contamination in this material world, you have no spiritual knowledge, you'll think this is an idol. So Prabhupada immediately asked the devotee, please take the deity of Krishna upstairs to your room. And he said that no one will understand how Krishna appears in the form of the deity. In one conversation with a reporter asked Srila Prabhupada, can you explain about the deity in the temple, and why there's so much opulence and why devotees are offering the obeisances? And she said she couldn't understand why, how Krishna appears as the deity. And Prabhupada asked her if she's been to a funeral when someone dies, and she said yes. And Prabhupada asked her, so what's the difference between a dead body and a living body? And she said correctly that there's no soul. And Prabhupada asked her, yes, that's good. And Prabhupada asked her, have you seen the soul? And she said, no, we cannot see the soul. Then Prabhupada said, yes, that is correct. Then Prabhupada said, yes, so that means spiritually you cannot see. Therefore, Krishna or God comes in a way in which we can see. When we look right now, what can we see? Can you see marble, stone, wood, metal, paintings and pictures? These are all energies of God. Everything in this world is made of 5 gross elements: earth, water, fire, air and ether. So through the elements, through his own energies, Krishna appears in the form of the deity in the temple, which is either made of marble, stone, wood, metal, paintings and pictures. And his form is installed by bona fide saintly persons who, through rituals and sacrifices and offerings, the bona fide saintly persons invite the Lord to please come and live in this temple. We've built a beautiful temple for you. Please come here and the devotees will take care of you. So this is how Krishna appears in the form of the deity in the temple. And we have to develop that faith that this is directly Lord Krishna. Therefore, in the beginning, Prabhupada, he stressed the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, chanting and hearing. But then gradually later on, he introduced the deity worship. This is another way that Krishna appears in the form of the Lord in the temple. And in this way, Krishna is very merciful in this deity form, because he freely gives his mercy and blessings to everyone. Whoever comes to the temple will receive Lord Krishna's full mercy and blessings. Even if you come here without any spiritual knowledge or understanding, or if you come just to carry out some maintenance work, you will receive the Lord's full mercy and blessings. And ultimately, the deity form of the Lord, it helps project within the mind of the worshipper a personal image of God. This is again Prabhupada's mission, to establish that ultimately God is a person. And this is a way that he appears in the form of the deity in the temple. And again, Krishna freely gives himself to his more sincere devotees by allowing them to touch him. The devotees who go on the altar, they bathe, they undress Krishna, they bathe Krishna, they put on fresh clothes, garlands, flowers, they decorate Krishna, they make offerings to Krishna, they put the Lord to rest. So this is Krishna's mercy, that he freely gives himself in the form of the deity in the temple. And it is this deity worship or archanam, what we're reading of, is going on since time immemorial. And it's another way that Krishna appears. The most common way the Lord appears in the form of his holy name, the Hare Krishna mantra. And then that's by chanting the holy name. Is one track, is the one that we're reading of, the Bhagavad-Vidhi, which is the 9 processes of a devotional service, starting with Shravanam, Kirtanam, chanting and hearing. And the other process is deity worship or temple worship, Pancharatri Ki Vidhi. So there are many wonderful, all over the world, since time immemorial, devotees or servants of the deities have had such wonderful experiences with deity worship. And also, even further than that, the deity of the spiritual master. And especially Srila Prabhupada, after he left, his deity was installed in many temples around the world. And many devotees had experiences with Prabhupada in his form as the deity. There's one pastime that I heard of or read of in New Vrindavan. New Vrindavan is the first farm community in the West. It's in West Virginia, which is a state outside New York City. And it was started in 1968 by the early followers of Srila Prabhupada. So when Srila Prabhupada left this planet in November 1977, they installed a deity. They built a beautiful palace for Srila Prabhupada, which is a major tourist attraction in the USA. And they installed a deity. And at one point, Prabhupada was not happy to stay there. So there's one tourist that came, an elderly lady. I think it was a senior citizens group that came. And she went before Prabhupada and she saw everyone offering respect to Prabhupada. So she did the same. And Prabhupada spoke to her, "Please take my shoes away. Please take my shoes away." And she was speaking to Prabhupada directly, just like how I'm speaking to you. And she did that. She took Prabhupada's shoes away. Then later on, she had a dream, and Prabhupada said, now you take my shoes back. This was after a couple good years, 5 or 6 years, up to 10 years. And when she went to the temple in New Vrindavan, she told the devotees that when I came here about 10 years ago, your guru, your spiritual teacher told me I should take his shoes, and I did that. And now I had a dream telling me to bring the shoes back. See? So then the devotees they wondered what happened to Prabhupada's shoes, those that were there at that time, because it went missing. So this is how powerful deity worship is. And the guru also appears in the form of his picture, in the form of his deity. So we have to develop this faith, and then we'll be able to advance as it's mentioned here. And in this purport that Prabhupada is giving, that our process of bhakti starts with Shravanam, Kirtanam, chanting and hearing, and also this temple worship. And we should develop faith in both, strong faith. And Prabhupada is giving the example of Haridas Thakur, who did no deity worship. He was such an exalted person that simply he took shelter of the holy name. He became the Namacharya of chanting Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada is warning us not to imitate such great devotees, but rather we should follow the process set by him, by Srila Prabhupada, which we have discussed, chanting and hearing and worshipping the deity. Hare Krishna. We'll stop there and take your comments or questions. Okay, that's it. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.